You're listening to the voice of IWA Flip here on Interfed Radio. Welcome to Around the United Nations. Oh man, Commissioner Scott Anderson in-house. Commissioner Scott Anderson, how you doing?
Excellent. Glad to be on again. How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm great, man. A lot going on in the bronze, and I think the pinnacle of the bronze is here in the United Nations League. So we got a lot to cover.
No doubt.
Oh man, now as we kick this one off, we like to kick off with our league champions. So Scott, if you allow me, I'll go ahead and murder some names on this show as well.
Let's do it. Better you than me.
Here we go. United Nations League number 24, our December cycle. We have our league champ, Bill the Butcher Cutting. Congratulations, Bill. Recent to the league, right?
Yeah. About 4 or 5 cycles in. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
TV champion. Now this guy's well known around here. Flexing Vladimir Verkamp. Mr. Verkamp, congratulations on that TV champion. Our Brazil champion, Akbar. Hey, way to go. China champion, Walter the Monk McGinn. Our Great Britain champion, Flying Dragon. Oh, man, Felipe Rasul. I'll get it one of these days. Our India champion, Jasper Obanko. Our Iran champion, Aaron McFleece. Oh, man. Japan champion, Cece DeVille. Our Mexico champion, Strongman Tobin Wells. Nigeria champion, the Canadian crippler, Antoine Martin. Our Russian champion, the Samoan bulldozer, Tonga Men. Our United States champion, Timbatsu. Moving over to our tag team champions, Bill the Butcher Cutting and Walter Monk McGinn. Congratulations, gentlemen. Tag team champions, Cece DeVille and Akbar is our TV tag team champions. Our 6-man champions, Rick Rancher.
There he is.
Rick Rancher. Yeah, I was about to say getting through the title page without saying his name, but nope, didn't happen. Texas Hick, Rick Rancher, Flexing Vladimir Verkamp, and the strongman Tobin Wells. Our 6-man champions, Quick Hill Inc., the Quebec Hitman, the Russian Reaper, and Naul. Congratulations to all our winners. I will say our tag team champions, we had over 50, so they brought home $18 in UNL credit, and our league champion brought home 10 free matches.
Yeah. So if I may, a couple quick notes. We'll talk about why it's 10 instead of 5, I'm sure, here in a minute. But Bill Cutting, to the earlier point, has only been in the league about 4 or 5, maybe 6. I think it's 5 cycles. This is his second league title. He won league, lost in November, and then regained in December. So 2 of the last 3 league titles are Bill the Butcher. So he is coming in with a heavy hand.
And I'll say him and his tag team partner, because
him and Walter McGinn. Yeah,
both of them
sure.
are
Nice to see the Flying Dragon, Philippe Rousseau, and the Canadian crippler Antoine Martin back. The manager recently posted on the UNL board he plans to be kind of more involved this next year, which is awesome. When he is on and active, he is a tough customer. He is on the title page when he is there.
And 2019 is already boiling into it's boiling up early. Or I mean 2019 is going to boil up early. We haven't even got there yet, and I'm already claiming 2019.
I'm already excited. Yeah. So something else I want to mention. This rarely happens, and I like it when it does. And I feel like, in a way, it talks about the health of a league. When you have 10 different wrestlers on the tag and 6-man, right? No tag and 6-man have, any crossover or any doubles, right? Like McGinn Cutting and McGinn won the tag and $18 in credit, but they're not on the 6-man, right? None of the 6-man are on the tag. None of the tag are on the 6-man. So,
yeah.
So there's a lot of competition, right? There's a lot of competition going on in those multis, which is great.
Right, and I think we've mentioned this before, where what makes this even more of a monster of a league to come and try and be competitive in the 6-man is that you're only allowed 2. So
right.
if in order to succeed, you have to reach out and you have to find that perfect pair.
Right. You either get lucky or like you might get lucky, but if you're going to have any type of success, your best bet is to work together with somebody. Yep, for sure. And also something I noticed as you were reading it, and I didn't notice it until now. It's been a week since it's been out, and I didn't pick up on it. No battle royal. Nobody won from the battle royal, and that happened because partly because Bill Cutting was the number 1 contender and regained the league title. But then no champion, like the Russia champion didn't win the India title, so nobody moved around. So that also is like a lot of competition right now. So pretty excited.
Oh yeah, no, I mean a lot of I guess a lot of managers that do tailor, or kind of navigate to a league, to take advantage of a battle royal to get on the title page. I think it's going to be very scarce now moving forward.
Yeah. Well, and there was a cycle, and I don't remember if it was the LNL or the UNL. I want to say it was the UNL. We had 8 champions crowned from the battle royal, which to me I think is the great. Just it had to work out exactly as it did, right? Like a lower champion or somebody who won a lower regional won a higher regional in the battle royal, so that opened up that regional to a new battle royal, and just it like domino effect. 8 champions. I think it was the UNL. Yeah.
That's nuts. I mean, because I mean to see 1, 2, yeah, okay, but.
Right. You expect to see 1 or 2, but yeah, 8. It was incredible. But if you don't mind me kind of yammering on, we had 17 active managers, which is the highest number of active managers we've had. Awesome. And then because we had at least 15, the league champion got 10 free matches instead of 5. So it also bumped up the number of wrestlers, and we talked about this before we came on, the number of wrestlers that'll be in the next global tournament. They almost all have had 12. This is the first one where we get to bump up to 16. So we'll have 8 first round matches. The IWA is going to love me. I'm going to send in so many matches. So we have 8 first round matches in 2 cycles for the global tournament number 24.
Now does that? Oh no, that doesn't affect the fact that they can't be in the next one because there's obviously 34.
Right. Well, right. So the idea is that I try and make it so that almost everyone will be in every other tournament, right? It is possible that maybe you have 2 really terrible cycles in a row and then you'll miss 2 in a row, right? It can happen. But usually everybody will be in every 2 or 3. Yeah. So, right. So because we have more managers, now we can have more people. So the tournament gets bigger and bigger. I'd love to, 16, I'm so excited, but I'd love to see it get even bigger.
Oh yeah, those I can tell those tournaments get you pumped. I can tell those.
They do. I love them. I love them. They're a good little addition to me.
Oh yeah. Now, are we going to kind of touch on the rankings that we have there in league? I know our points our points race is coming down to an end. I know we mentioned it the last time, but might as well give it a final look before the final cycle.
Sure. Definitely. So, barring something wild, which can happen, Joe Kona hit up a lot of points in a single cycle. So it can happen. But Rick Rancher has a pretty firm lead on the singles for wrestling of the year. So he has a pretty firm grip on that right now. The tag is pretty much wrapped up. The 6-man is pretty much wrapped up. So kind of looking for anybody in that maybe top 4. Like I would say Joe Kona, Vladimir Verklempt, and Timbatsu all have kind of an outside shot. If they can hit a home run in the holiday cycle, they could overtake Rick Rancher. And Rick Rancher, of course, won last year, so he could win 2 years in a row Wrestler of the Year. So couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Now, I mean, obviously, you're the commish, so you've been there.
Right.
How many active managers has Rancher retired, or did a lot of people
run off?
Did a lot of people stick out the year, or?
Yeah. You know what? Not for nothing. Which is my new catchphrase. Let me see. I can count them up real quick. Managers that are still managers that were there at the beginning that are still active now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I count 10, and I could be miscounting, but it's at least 10.
10
so at least 10 managers have stuck. 10 that were active in Cycle 1 that are still there, which I think is a pretty good test.
Oh, wow. You went all the way back to Cycle 1. I was just thinking. I was just thinking this year. Oh, no, that's awesome.
I'll go back all the way to Cycle 1. Yes, we've had 10 managers that have stuck around the first 20.
Oh, that's beautiful. Like I said, that alone deserves a kudos, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Now, so, that makes Texas Hicks accomplishments even more amazing, man. Congratulations. Yeah. Like I said, I know we give him a hard time, but I know he knows it's in good taste, man.
Oh yeah, all in good fun. It really, yeah. I'm always happy to see that manager win. So, except when he beats me every single time. But.
With that one exception, yeah, you can.
With that said, he's a great guy, so I'm always happy to see him do well. But I do want to say, you brought up the points race, which will decide our wrestler, tag team, and 6-man of the year. As soon as or sometime after the holiday cycle, I'm going to be posting some nominees for UNL managers to vote on for certain additional awards. I'd like to vote on Feud of the Year. I'd like to vote on Match of the Year, Trash Talk of the Year, and perhaps some additional awards like New Wrestler of the Year. So definitely be looking for those sometime after the holiday cycle. I'll be posting those nominees for UNL managers to vote on, so we have some kind of additional awards in the January cycle.
Nice. Start the year off with some prizes. Start the year off with a bang.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in terms of those managers that have just got here, I mean, we have someone like the Playboy, who might not know too many of the angles. Is there, are you going to still allow managers like all of us? I'm going to put myself in that boat to vote, or is it just going to be for those that have been in?
I wouldn't tell somebody they couldn't vote. I'm not going to tell somebody they can't vote. I would say, I would trust your what's the word I want to say?
Well, if that's the case, my vote is going to be 5 free matches, gentlemen. If you want to be considered,
like, in exchange for my vote, I would like, pay for play already. All right, haven't even posted the nominees, and we're already selling our vote.
Hey, the associates, man, they they're for hire, so their votes
Uh,
for hire as well. So, oh,
oh, good stuff. Good times.
yeah, you know what? Like I said, there's a lot going on in this league. Like I said, closing out a year and getting so many managers to move there that are ready to take on the new year, and it's always fun because I'm looking at all the leagues throughout the IWA, and there's a lot of them that have migration right now because
Right.
everyone's getting ready to tackle that new league. So
Right.
it is fun to see all that migration throughout the
Yeah.
IWA.
Well, 2000, we have the end of a calendar year, and for a lot of us, like the end of a calendar year is kind of a chance to do something new. Like let's kick off 2019. Let's do something different. So
Oh yeah.
an exciting time. We do have the next UNL pay-per-view. I don't know if I'm getting ahead of what we're going to talk about, but our next UNL pay-per-view, for those of you who may be first-time listeners, thank you. World Warfare 2 is going to be on January 15th. So we're going to kick off the year, January 5th. Excuse me. We're going to kick off the year with kind of the biggest UNL show of the year, World Warfare. Already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 big matches signed. I have it on good account. There's going to be at least one more super high caliber matchup added. So it will be, I think, probably the greatest show we've put on so far. So I'm pretty excited.
Now, I mean, as you're mentioning that, can we, do you mind if I highlight the matches? Do you mind if I read off the ones that have already been
No,
signed?
please. Yeah,
Okay, so
no,
we
go
got
ahead.
January 5th, 2019, World Warfare 2, already signed. And of course, this is taking place in Beijing, China. So at the National Stadium there. So, but, like you mentioned this before, Scott, where you move the pay-per-view from a different nation, and you covered
Yeah.
all of them, or not all of the nations, but you've
Not
had.
yeah, not all of them yet, but yeah, each country that's listed on the regionals has hosted a pay-per-view, and the Tuesday night main event was held in Texas, so in Rick Ranger's backyard. But last year's World Warfare was held in Japan. The Rumble was held in Brazil. The Global's Greatest was held in Mexico City. And so now World Warfare 2 is in China. So we're making our way around the globe.
I love it. I love it. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start from the bottom up. We have a six-man action between Quick Kill Inc., which is the Quebec Hitman, the Russian Reaper, and Naul. They're going to go to take on Bill Cutting and Walter McGinn with the help of Texas Edge. So that should be an interesting six-man matchup right there. Uh, we got American Pride, Jack Edison going against the Playboy himself, Shane Cole. So
Yeah.
I said he came on. He's made you know we're hashtagging every match matters right now throughout the IWA because there's a lot of managers that have a certain play style, and we want to make sure that regardless of where you're playing, that if you're signing a match, rest assured if you want that match to matter, hashtag every match matters, and we're definitely going to highlight it because Shane is one of those managers that has a very unique way of playing the game, and like I said, I want to make sure he continues to have fun with this game as well, and yeah, moving forward, every match matters. Shane, go get him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and Jack Edison and Shane Cole is it's getting a very good build up. So as we go through the trash talk later, they're getting a pretty good war of words going. So that should be a good
Nice,
one.
very cool. We got next on the lineup. We got the Italian Nightmare, Anthony Izzo, going up against the Bulgarian Brute, Alex Petrov. Now, am I mistaken, or didn't Alex Petrov change his name to like
Uh,
recently, or
that to the best of my knowledge is the new name. Let me double check.
okay? As
Oh,
you're
it
doing,
is. It is a new. Yeah. We have Alex Dryko, and so I'll have that corrected in the next bulletin. So
I know they were going through talks in the background, backstage
yeah,
kayfabe talking backstage. So they had to change them up.
yeah. So
So
I will get that corrected. Thank you.
we got the Hawaiian Delight, Joe Kona, going up against around the world, or excuse me, around the UNL favorite, TXVXB. Oh, that's a, you know what? And yeah, you know what? I'm still gonna say the X's, even if he does call us jerks,
Yeah,
even if he does
yeah,
call us.
yeah.
The Samoan bulldozer, Tonga Man, going up against Mr. Wrestling himself, Valin Aria. Oh
Pretty
man,
excited.
that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah,
We got strongman Tobin Wells going up against Jacob Vanderberg.
yeah. As Jacob would say, that is Tobin the Well.
Tobin.
Yeah. uh, Jacob.
Oh man, Tobin in the well. Tobin in the well. Tobin Well. Ah, go get him, strongman. Come on,
Go
get
get.
get
Yeah.
him. Uh, and we got a tag team match that it has a mystery partner, but on one side we got Poison, which is CC DeVille and Akbar, going up against Texas Rick Rancher and his special guest, mystery guest. What do we call it?
Here's the craziest part about this. Okay, Rick Rancher is so full of himself that he challenged CC DeVille and Akbar to a match. And CC DeVille and Akbar said the only way we'll accept the match is if we get to pick a tag team partner for you.
Ah,
So DeVille and Akbar are going to be picking Rick Rancher's partner for this match. And so Rick
interesting.
partner's going to.
I mean, I mean, what can you tell me about CC DeVille and Akbar? Are they cynical enough to maybe put
Oh, they're villainous. They're
oh
bad to the
man,
bone.
oh
Uh,
man,
they were the
I
party boys. Okay, so they were these fun-loving party boys for about the first, 15 cycles. Everybody loved them. They were having a good time. But here, unbeknownst to the UNL world, the UNL universe, they were the two masked men that were beating all these wrestlers up for like 10 cycles. So it was like this big facade that they were the party boys and they were fun loving when they were beating these people up underneath these masks. Uh,
love
so,
it. I love.
so yeah, so it was a big shock when they were revealed, but they were caught and revealed by Rick Rancher. So that's kind of what started this whole feud. Is Rick Rancher is the one who unmasked or revealed that CC DeVille and Akbar were the masked men who had all these heinous attacks. And needless
Now
to say, the fans were heartbroken. But now CC DeVille and Akbar are as villainous as they come, and they've been winning a lot. So
now are they gonna go and toss in Ray Morales or the Man of a Thousand Languages to
right, well, that's what they right. That's one of the things that came up. Yeah, we could throw in Bruises Easy Brody. We could throw in International Man of Mystery #1. What about Nuke the Known Weapon? Like they could saddle him with a scrub. So we'll
uh
see. We'll see how that all plays out.
or are they crazy enough to oh no, I don't even want to say it. I mean, what if they put Ezekiel Crane in with them?
Who knows, right?
Oh man, this is getting nuts now.
Could be. Who
Oh man,
knows? So who knows what goes on in the villainous in the evil minds of CC DeVille and Akbar. So
oh man. So that's our World Warfare 2 lineup for now. Like I said, there's still you said there still might be a couple matches added.
I would say there's definitely going to be one that if we talk about the trash talk, you'll probably be able to piece it together. But who knows? If you're a manager in the UNL and you're not currently on in a match, hit me up, make an enemy, do a sneak attack. Let's get you on the card. The more the merrier. So But 2, 4, 14, and 6 is 20. So we've got 20 wrestlers on the card already. There's going to be at least one more match. So, we've got quite a few already on the card. So if you're not on it, let's get you on. Let's get, Sebastian Janikowski. Let's get him on the card. Let's get him, beat somebody up.
Nice. Now, as we're going over the show, I'm looking down, and I don't think we've mentioned them too much, and I want to make sure we mention them because I think these are just as important as any, in terms of titles. The commissioner titles there in the UNL. I'll go ahead and start with our international champion, Tenbatsu.
Yeah, we did finish up. So he's listed in there this cycle, obviously, but we did finish up those title series. Would you like me to go over those?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So Tenbatsu was defending against Jasper Obanku, and Jasper became the new international champion.
And so, now as you're saying this, remind me, each title is defended on a 3 cycle, or 5, or was it 4 or 5?
The United Nations and the Can-Am and the International, you are correct, are all defended in a 3 cycle series.
Perfect.
So the challenger has to win 2 matches. So that it's a tall order to unseat a champion. You have to win 2 out of 3 matches.
Nice. So congratulations to Jasper on our becoming our new international champion.
For sure, definitely. And then CC DeVille managed to retain against the Quebec Hitman. A tough series, but he got through. And then vexing Vladimir Verklempt managed to retain against Joe Kona. So I mentioned, right, the challenger has to win 2, right? This is the second series in a row that Vladimir has retained the title by going 1, 1, and 1. 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 draw. So he is getting by. He barely got by Tenbatsu 1-1-1. Now he's gotten by Joe Kona 1-1-1. So,
but like you mentioned, I mean, you have to beat the champ.
So to me, that's the champion's advantage. Is that the champion has to be beaten twice. So
I like it. You know what? And as you mentioned, CC DeVille, defending twice.
Well, he won two of the 3. Wait.
Sorry about that. I mean, you said he was defending. Has he defended twice, or how many times has he retained?
So that is an excellent question. I think this was CC DeVille's first defense. I'll double check and I'll have a confirmation on that for the next show. But I'm confident that this was CC DeVille's second defense. I'm going to change my answer. This was his second defense. He and Tenbatsu won at the same time, and they had, so CC has had 2 successful title defenses now.
Nice. Now definitely kudos on our Can-Am champion there, CC DeVille. Television champion Texas Hick.
Rick Ranch. Yeah. Can I tell you something crazy? This is wild to me. Okay, so I was updating for the cycle 24, right? And I try and, if I have a picture that I've used on the title page previously, I just, put that picture back on there. Rick Rancher won the television title last cycle. This is the first commissioner's title that Rick Rancher has won. All of his success, 6 league titles. He won like 3 or 4 Global's greatest tournaments. He won the Rumble. He won Bronze Fed. He's had 6 league titles. I think I already said that. He won the Colossal, the crossover collision event. This is the first commissioner's title that he has won.
Is it the first one he's challenged for?
No. Good question. He challenged for the United Nations title and came up short. Didn't win it. So
how could
to
you win?
that point,
How could you win 6 league?
I know. It's incredible. I don't know. I don't know how he hasn't been peppered all over this title page. I don't know how he's not all 5 champions. But, well, wait, he can't be international. Rick Rancher does what he wants. He wins everything. But
he'll hide under a mask and call himself
right.
El Santos or something else.
Yeah, he'll be like the Chilean hick, Rick. He'll get something. But speaking to that, unless you want to talk about World Tag first.
Oh yeah, let's give those guys their fair share, their credit on there before we. And this is our World Tag Team Champions, the Quebec Hitman, MRP, and Naul.
Yeah, who have been the only world so far. There will be a challenger next cycle for the World Tag titles. The World Tag is a little different. Is that what you were going to ask, or what were you going to ask?
You're reading minds now. Go right ahead.
Okay, so in order to challenge for the World Tag is a little different, right? You have to have 2 national or 2 international characters challenging for the World Tag title, which means that you have to work together with another manager, because obviously each manager has 1 national and 1 international. So Naul and Quebec Hitman are 2 national wrestlers, and how you get to challenge for the title is you have to beat them in a non-title match.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So the Quebec Hitman and Naul have been beaten a couple times in a non-title match, and then when you win a non-title match, the next cycle you can challenge again, and that will be a title match.
Oh, I like that.
So no points advantage for the champions because you have to beat them 2 cycles in a row. So in cycle 24, Tonga Ming and Walter McGinn defeated the Quebec Hitman and Naul in a non-title match. So for this cycle, Tonga and Walter can challenge for the World Tag titles. So
nice. Now, is that something that they have to mention in their TT, that they're going to be chasing those to make it
they don't
valid,
have to
validate it?
They don't have to talk about it in their TT. They have to send in the match though.
Gotcha. Okay.
So so managers have to send in the match, the non-title match, and then they have to send in the title match.
Now, do they have to label it, or is that? So as long
you
as
don't have to label it, I'll find it. You don't have to label it, I'll find it. No worries.
Well, I'll make sure I'm gonna label it.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I just search. I just do a search, and I look for, I personally put in and then quick link Naul, and if I do that, it brings up all the tag matches that Naul is in.
Now we mentioned this on the Rick Angel show, because that's how Rick Angel. Actually, I learned that from Rick Angel, that he searches the HTML. So managers out there, if you're looking for a quick way to look through your bulletin or a quick way to find your batches, the IWA does provide an HTML version of the bulletin, of the cards, and if you just go standard search through your web browser, it allows you to kind of move along along quickly.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, whenever I hear about a manager who reads through every match to find stuff, I'm like, oh, I feel so bad. Please, go to the site, click on the match results. It's underneath the bulletins. It's underneath the PDF bulletins.
Yep.
And then you just click find, and you can find your wrestlers' names.
Combos. It's your regular search. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Right.
I mean, I'll be the first to admit. I mean, because like I said, I until Rick made me aware that it was. I mean, I knew it was there, but I was always like, who the hell needs the HTML? Why do they keep putting up this HTML? This is dumb. And as I'm sitting there and listening to Rick find results in a matter of seconds, right. I'm like, dude, how did you find that? He's all like, what do you mean? How did I find it? I just used a search. I just used a search. I'm like,
You're like, Oh, like a light
Ah,
bulb. You're like,
oh yeah,
oh,
oh yeah. That light, it was that light bulb kick to the nuts. It was
yeah.
the combination. Like here you go, like,
Oh,
come on, Flip, wake up, come on.
um,
Uh,
okay, so real quick before I would not,
backtracking a little bit.
yeah, not that I would ever forget, but the next challenger for the international championship is Tonga Ming, and the next challenger for the Can-Am title is Strongman Tobin Wells. So those two titles are defended against the fifth highest strategy average for the previous three cycles. So cycle 22, 23, 24. I find the averages. The fifth highest national wrestler challenges for the Can-Am, the fifth highest international challenges for the international title. So it kind of keeps the guys who are doing good but aren't quite at the very very top, keeps them involved.
Kind
And
of,
then
in the same sense, like as a mid card.
right, right. I mean, I would never call CC DeVille a mid card wrestler, but it is comparable to like say the Intercontinental and the U.S. title, right? It's the wrestlers who are kind of not in the world title picture right now, fighting it out for something also still valuable. To that point though, the Can-Am and international champions are still permitted to challenge for the United Nations title.
Oh
So
no,
like
okay.
say it didn't happen this time, but say CC DeVille had the highest three cycle average, he would still get the challenge for the internet or for the United Nations title. But if you win the United Nations title, you forfeit the Can-Am or the international. You can't hold both. It's like the Ultimate Warrior after WrestleMania 6. You got to give up the Intercontinental title,
You got to
right?
give it a.
Can't have both. Now, to that point, the exception to the rule, right, is you can hold the television title and any of the other titles. So you could be the international and television champion at the same time. But the television is the kind of exception to the rule on that.
Now the television one is defended against Battle Royal.
Correct. So whoever wins the Battle Royal, this cycle, Akbar won the Battle Royal, so he will challenge Rick Rancher, which is actually serendipitous because they'll be facing each other at World Warfare 2 cycles from now. So we'll get a little preview of that when Rick Rancher defends his television title against Akbar in the holiday cycle.
Nice. Now, as we did read over World Warfare 2, I didn't see any titles moving around. Are none of them being contested for?
Well, because of the way I have the titles set up, right? They're in 3-cycle series. It's rare that you see the titles defended at the pay-per-views. The pay-per-views are for the feuds that wrestlers are in, right? Like CC DeVille and Akbar in a feud with Rick Rancher. So that's the match we're highlighting, right? The
Nice.
trash talk dictates the pay-per-view matches.
And like I said, it's definitely a change of pace because most of the other pay-per-views that I'm familiar with always revolve around their titles. So it's interesting and it's a nice change of pace to have a pay-per-view strictly, tailored, by the trash talk. That's awesome. It goes to show that there's a lot more going on.
Yeah. Thank you. It's not something I set out to do intentionally, but now that it is that way, I really like it, because the titles quite know how challenging for what or who's going to be the champion, but you always know who's going to, you always know who you're going to hate, like Valinari is going to be hating Tonga Ming until World Warfare. We know that,
Nice.
So we build up for that for 5 cycles,
Yeah, no, it's like I said, it's definitely a nice change in the UNL with that.
Thank you. We do have a bit of, I don't know if I want to say controversy, but we do have something very highly unusual happening with the United Nations title.
I can't win, but I'll let you keep going.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So if you're on the UNL board, you would have seen the special announcement regarding the next title series in cycle 25, 26, 27. So I laid it all out. I like to keep it 100, so I like to be up front with the managers as much as I can. So what has happened is the United Nations title is defended against the wrestler that had the highest 3-cycle average in the previous, 22, 23, 24. In this case, is going to be the one who gets the title shot at the United Nations Championship. So obviously being the big title, it doesn't matter whether you're a national character or international character. If you have the highest 3-cycle average, you're going to challenge for the United Nations title. Unfortunately, what I did not account for is to have a manager who was able to be the United Nations champion and have the highest strategy average with their other wrestler. So by the rules that I have set up, it would be Vladimir Verklempt against Rick Rancher, who are both managed by the same who are managed by the same person. There we go. I'll say it that way. And as much as I appreciate that manager is so talented as to be the champion and the challenger, I felt like in the UNL, I want a certain level of diversity in our title series.
Like you said, just to keep it moving.
Just to keep somebody, just to keep it moving, to keep another manager, involved, challenger, champion, facing off. So because I did not account for that, I don't want to punish that manager, and I also don't want to punish, the character, right? I know, we know they're imaginary characters, but I don't want to punish Rick Rancher, right? Because, character-wise, I don't want to keep him from getting a World United Nations title shot because he happens to be managed by the same person, right?
Right, because I mean, especially the way we play, Scott. I mean, in terms of building characters, I mean, I'm sure he's built each character within their own, respective careers, So
right.
And so, like you're saying,
they have very little interaction, right?
Nice.
So to that point, so Vladimir Verklempt is the champion. Rick Rancher had the highest strategy average, but managed by the same person. So going forward, I am going to add an asterisk that if that were to happen again, I would go to the number 2. I would go to the second highest strategy. So in fairness to the person who would have been a challenger, if I had been smart enough to have that rule in from the beginning, I'm going to have that wrestler also challenge for the United Nations title, and that wrestler is Aaron McFleece.
Nice.
So, but there, as if that wasn't enough.
Jacob.
There's one more final complication.
I remember reading the cycle before, and then getting the amendment. I'm like, holy moly, this has just turned into a rumble.
This is craziness. Yeah. So in this bulletin, prior to the knowledge that this is what was going to happen, I made the decision that the winner of the Global's greatest event, in this case was TXBXB, deserved, based on that victory, deserved a chance to challenge. It was going to be the highest strategy average and TVB, both challenging for the title. Then we had our issue with Rick Rancher, and so I am also adding Aaron McFleece, which means that there will be 3 challengers for Vladimir Verklempt's United Nations title.
Now,
which is unprecedented, and I don't expect to ever happen again. So how will that be decided? The challenger still has to win 2 matches, right? So if by some chance more than 2 wrestlers win 2 matches against Vladimir Verklempt, which no one's been able to do yet, but if somebody does, then the higher strategy average among the challengers who win 2 matches will become the champion.
Nice.
So
You're
please
like,
have the same strategy total.
oh man, and you know what? I mean, I think you said it best. I forgot we were mentioning it, but until it happens, you can't really, there's some things you can't foresee. You don't expect stuff like
Right.
that. But
Right. I never accounted for a manager who would be both champion and challenger, and I should have been prepared for it, but it just seemed unfathomable, and yet here we are. So good luck to all those challengers, the champion. It'll be an interesting 3 cycles for sure. It is exciting, but kind of chaotic. So it'll be good.
And shout out to Brad. Thank you for continuing to change our game and continue to push us
No
to
doubt.
new push us to new limits, man.
No doubt. He's got like 30 guys or less in the entire IWA, and I see his name in every single report. And I'm like, do you mind saving a little bit for the rest of us? But kudos to him. He knows it's all in good fun. He's a great guy.
Now, are we moving into trash talk?
Sure. I guess we should do that now that I'm 20 minutes in and I yammered on for 10 minutes.
No, we're good. I mean, I think like I said, because there's so much going on, it's just, it's beautiful to get all that in-depth review and stuff, man. It really helps.
Well, thanks. I hope people enjoy it.
Now, the first one here that I'm looking at is as we were mentioning TXVXB and his interaction with the commissioner. So
yeah, are you looking at the from the desk?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's actually where I announced that there will be 2 challengers because I didn't know there would be 3. So that's where it's announced that TVB will get a chance to challenge for the United Nations title based on his win at Global's Greatest, which I guess I should mention how that comes into play is all the winners from the first 15 Global's Greatest tournaments. So you had to win a tournament to get into the event, right? So all the winners of those first 15 tournaments went into a kind of elimination style matchup at the Global's Greatest pay-per-view, and TVB won against all the other winners of those global tournaments. So a pretty big accomplishment.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, like I said, TXVXB, like I said, he's definitely a name here in the UNL, and I said it's nice to see him get that shot.
Yeah, I think so too.
Now speaking of getting a shot, things erupted with these 2 friends or amigos, comrades, whatever you want to call them, but jealousy between Tim Batsu and Aaron McFleece.
Gosh, it's hard to know what's going on in the mind of Aaron McFleece anymore. It's been a wild second half of the year for him. He lost all of his money. He and Timbatsu had gotten to be very close friends. At the same time, Aaron McFleece lost all his money. Timbatsu had a huge run, had back-to-back league titles, and I think just Aaron, in a way, is like he's stripping away all this kind of facade that he had built up, right? But along with that, he's also like pushing away Tenbatsu, who they had gotten, from all accounts, they had gotten to be really close friends. So it's a little heartbreaking that McFleece is kind of tossing his friend out. But I think it's going to make for an incredible story. So it is making for an incredible story, and I think it's only going to get better. It's a really really good read if you haven't checked it out yet.
Now it looks like it looks like we could have it kind of, and I don't want to say boil because it's just getting started, but it looks like we could launch into the next next phase of this angle at world warfare because it looks like that's what they were hinting to.
Yeah, pointing to the World Warfare 2 sign. So it's pretty exciting. I think that if that match, gets official, it's gonna blow the roof off the national stadium.
Oh man, now as I'm moving down, I'm looking at is this Noble House? No, this is Quick Kill Inc. Right? Oh no, Valen is Noble House.
Yeah.
Now is Quick Kill.
Correct. Yeah, so I latched both of my wrestlers onto two other really good groups. So, got to ride some coattails. Valinaria joined Noble House. Unfortunately, Noble House has had to take kind of a break away from the game for a little bit. So Valen is kind of keeping them kind of, on the hearts and minds of all of our UNL fans. So they are Mac Trilla and the Man Animal join Valinaria as he's come into the arena. He's getting interviewed by poor Felicia O'Neill, who Valen never seems to have much respect for. But Arya gets pretty. He throws out a couple jabs here, and then he gets pretty serious about what he's going to do to Tonga Ming at World Warfare. He claims he's going to break his arm, and so we'll see how that works out for him.
Now is Valen been known to have a dark side?
Well, here he's it. I don't know if it's so much a dark side as he is just singular focus, right? All he cares about is wrestling, and all he cares about is being the best wrestler in the world, right? And so it hasn't necessarily been that he's dark. It's that it's like he is unemotional about it, right? He'll do whatever it takes to be at the top. And so that's part of the reason why he joined Noble House, because, he wants to be at the top, and he sees those as Noble House as being the baddest guys in the locker room. So, of course, he wants to join up with the baddest guys in the locker room.
Oh, yeah, man. But as I'm reading that, I'm like, he's talking about compound fractures and bones, just coming out. I'm like, holy smoly.
Right. So Valen, so Tonga Ming and Joe Kona rightly kind of threw some jabs at Valen the previous cycle about his need for partners, and that maybe he was jealous of Joe Kona's success. And there's truth to that, right? Like underlying all this passion for Valinaria is this desire to be the best, and he saw Joe Kona like win, elite and metro and bronze and get all these accolades, and whether Valen would ever admit it or not, that's what's going on. That's what kicked this off, right? Is his jealousy that he is not the best. So he's taking it up another level and claiming he's gonna pop the forearm bone through the skin, which I thought was extra not nice.
Very, very not nice. Oh man. Now, at time when you're in a league, you try and as the saying goes, cast a wide net, to see what comes. And looks like now, caught himself two big fish.
He sure did. So like 2 or 3 cycles in a row, I didn't have much going on with Naul as a singles wrestler. And obviously the big show coming up, World Warfare 2, I'm like, hey, I'm going to throw out a challenge to, these 4 new guys and see if I can get anybody to respond. So we did get Walter McGinn and Texas Edge both say that they would accept his challenge for a match at World Warfare. So it would have made sense to do like maybe a triple threat match, which probably would have been the case. However, the original plan for the rest of Quick Kill Inc., Naul's partners, was the big showdown with Noble House. Unfortunately, Noble House, again, is kind of has to step away for a little bit. They'll be back when they can. But that kind of left Quick Kill Inc., the tag team of the year, kind of off the big card, right? So I got everybody together or messaged everybody back and forth. And so kind of what we came up with was Walter McGinn and Bill Cutting are going to team up with Texas Edge, and those three are going to take on Quick Kill Inc. So
Nice.
That gets Naul on the pay-per-view, that gets the new guys on the pay-per-view, and that makes sure that Quick Kill Inc. is on the pay-per-view as well. So it'll be a pretty big six-man tag match.
Nice. Now, let's see here. We got our buddy, Texas Hick, Rick Rancher. Looks like, oh man, now he got, like I said, he has no need to cast a net. I mean, he got that big old target on his back already. So,
no doubt. Yeah, so he gets one of the UNL interviewers, Matt Peters. He makes him feel pretty uncomfortable during this interview. So Rick Rancher is pretty good at being a very, very unpleasant person to be around. So I would not want to show up on Rick Rancher's property uninvited. I'll say that.
Enter at your own risk.
Exactly. Enter at your own risk. No doubt.
Now, looks like, let's see here. CC's looks like he's, pumping up his match versus the Quebec Hit match. But, I mean, I think we mentioned that one earlier, right? He ended up retaining that one.
Correct. So as good as Quebec Hitman is, CC managed to be just a little bit better in that 3-cycle series. So
now the ninja's back.
Yeah. So we had this kind of cryptic short message from the ninja a couple cycles ago, and now we have another cryptic message from the ninja that he's back, and don't get in his way, he'll hit you with his nunchucks. So I'll be interested to see the happenings with this ninja.
Now, is he on roster yet or no?
Yeah, he is. He is on roster.
Nice.
So, yep. So we'll see what happens with that. I feel like there's something. I don't know. I feel like there's something nefarious building there. So we'll see.
Now, keep your friends close.
Exactly.
Flexing Vladimir Rekemp. Who is he?
Keeping close. He's keeping Poison close. So Vladimir had a falling out with Jacob Vandenberg in the fall. So now Vladimir is kind of, I don't want to say latched on, but Vladimir is kind of befriended CC DeVille and Akbar. But it almost seems like Vladimir is kind of unaware that it seems like DeVille and Akbar are using him. But he doesn't seem to be picking up on that. So Verklempt is enjoying the friendship of CC DeVille and Akbar.
Oh, man. Now, the royal family.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, anytime you bring home that big title, it attracts attention. And I think, after Joe Kona, brought that home, it just, like you said, all eyes on me, I guess,
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like they had a good a good start anyway, like character-wise, story-wise. But winning all those titles definitely put them on the map, win-wise, so to speak. So, yeah, for sure. Joe Kona became kind of an instant big name. So, yeah, unfortunately came up a little short against Vladimir Verklempt. But Tonga Ming is talking about how Valinari is in for a rough go at World Warfare.
Nice. Now, as I'm moving down, I see our man in purple here, Ezekiel Crane.
I know. I don't know how much we've talked about. Obviously, well, we wouldn't have talked about this on air, right, with the UNL yet. But I feel like this could be a really huge character, huge story arc. So I'm excited to see what happens with Ezekiel Crane here. So if you haven't read it yet, I encourage you to check it out. Ezekiel Crane was a war veteran. He was at a tribute show. The UNL offers to let him kind of have someone wrestle on his behalf and let him be a part of the show. To kind of come out and have somebody wrestle on his behalf. And so he picks Solomon. How would you pronounce that last name? Dieng.
Zheng.
Okay, so he has Solomon wrestle on his behalf, and then we're kind of left with this, odd finish here where the UNL thanks him for coming, and Ezekiel Crane says, "Thank you, sir. It's a day I will never forget." So we'll see what develops from here, but I'm pretty interested immediately.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely has has a lot of possibilities, and like I said, I'm curious. I'm curious moving forward how the UNL is going to treat his contract, and how we're gonna what happens if one of his what happens if one of his cronies wins a title or something. So
Right.
I'm curious. I'm curious as to what's going to happen moving forward with this.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now, Jacob Vandenberg and
Jacob.
Tobin the Well and Tobin the Well.
Yeah, Jacob is trying to purchase some finely aged lemonade, and the poor clerk is like, "I don't think you aged lemonade." But so this is in a lot of ways. Maybe it was, but this in a lot of ways is a callback. Jacob had what we'll see later, a pink drink dunk take match against Naul over the summer, and in the promos leading up to that, Naul visits a place that sells beverages and has a rather interesting interaction with the clerk. So to me it's like a callback to that promo where Naul bloodies his fist. He's punching bottles, but Jacob doesn't do anything like that. He does challenge Tobin the Well to the second ever pink drink dunk take match, which may be my favorite match to say ever. Pink drink dunk take. So I am so excited. I hope
that's so much of a tongue. That's so much of a tongue twister, man. Pink drink dunk tank. Pink drink dunk tank.
Yeah, love it. Oh, it's my favorite. It's my favorite match in IWA history. Pink drink dunk tank. So so Jacob is challenging Tobin the Well. So if we can see that match.
Oh, I love it. Now, let's see here. Looks like we have TXVXB And this is obviously prior to him finding out that he was, that there was going to be more challengers. So,
Right. Yeah. This is before we know there's going to be Aaron McFleece in the mix also.
but he has been granted a shot at that belt. So I'm going to
Right.
be following that one these next couple of cycles. See if he, like
Yeah.
I said, I definitely want to see him bring that one home. That should be fun.
Yeah. So I do have to mention, I laughed so hard. Probably not many of us would know who Rock Simpson, excuse me, who Rock Simpson is. So during my tenure and during Jake's tenure in the NWL as rookies, one of the big storylines of that year was Killer Clown against Rock Simpson. They feuded the entire year. It culminated in a ginormous matchup at the end of the year at Starrcade, or maybe not Starrcade, whatever the end of the year pay-per-view is in the NWL that I can't think of right now, culminating in this huge matchup, right? And at the end of that matchup, it's revealed that Rock Simpson is the one who had murdered Killer Clown's family all these years ago.
Oh dang! Oh dang!
Yeah, so I mean, it got real, right?
Oh,
So kind of leading into the
I
match, it
definitely
was.
I definitely wasn't expecting you to say that.
I know, right? So leading into the match, it was that Killer Clown had lost. Was giving him a recalled storyline from 3 years ago. So I'm hopefully I get it right. But he was, Rock Simpson was really antagonizing Killer Clown, and then it was like Rock Simpson said he knew who did it, and if he beat him at the pay-per-view, he would tell him. And so then Killer Clown wins, and Rock Simpson, pulls a Vince McMahon, and he's like, "It was me, I did it." So then Rock Simpson gets rightly arrested, and so then Matt Peters says, I've got to head over to the Willowwick prison after this. I scored an interview with Rock Simpson.
Oh, I love it.
So Rock Simpson's been locked up for 2 years,
Oh,
but it's just a great little Easter egg for those of us who would have been in the NWL a few years ago.
oh, that's beautiful, man. And
It gave me a really good chuckle.
oh yeah, those throwbacks like that, like you said, especially in a game like this where you have interactions over these over years, man, with
Right.
certain managers. So it is nice to throw a little, I like to call them jabs, a little, a little jab, at the past or something that, a little flashback. So
Yeah.
makes it fun. Uh,
It was highlight for me. Yeah, it was good.
Awesome. Now we got Blazer Corp, man, and like I said, these guys.
Yeah.
Like I said, that name is now becoming, what is it? A household.
Yeah. Household
because,
name.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Synonymous with success, I would say.
there we go. That's a perfect way to say it. And the Blazer Corp here in the United Nations League is strongman Tobin Wells and Jasper Banco, and yeah, those two guys. Like I said, who did we say they're going up against at the?
Tobin Wells is fighting Jacob Vandenberg. Jasper Obanku actually doesn't have a match at the pay-per-view yet, so he's a top-notch, top draw player in the UNL. So if anybody's looking to get on the pay-per-view, Jasper Obanku would be a great person to see if you can get to face you.
Oh yeah, that would yeah. Good luck, good luck too.
Yeah, like maybe you don't want to face him, but good opportunity.
Oh man. Now here's our cycle reminder not to mess with Texas. Not to mess with
Right.
Texas.
Yep, don't mess with Texas. Don't mess with Rick Rancher.
And as I'm looking down, I see the monk. It looks like the monk Walter McGinn and Bill Cuddy.
Right.
Now these guys, like I said, they've only been here a few cycles, but they've been an instant impact here in the league. So
yes, absolutely.
These guys definitely aren't afraid of Texas from what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't think they're afraid of anybody, and they shouldn't be. I mean, they have been tearing it up. So lots of high strats, lots of titles. Bill Cutting's been 2-time league champ already. Pretty incredible end of the year run. So definitely looking forward to seeing what they bring as we get into 2019. I mean, hot take, Bill Cutting or Walter McGinn could easily be Wrestler of the Year 2019.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean,
So,
just seeing their instant impact to round up
mhm.
this year. I mean, and who knows? I mean, maybe some of the cast is just enjoying the holidays a little more and allowing some of these newer guys to work. Because sometimes the locker room gets a little crowded. Some people are like, hey, if they really want to work during the holidays, let these kids work. And you know, who knows? Who knows what's going on in the UNL lockers?
Yeah. I mean, I I think that these guys they're going to continue to be a big impact as we go into the new year for sure.
Now, Scott, any last thoughts as we're coming to the end of this one? And anything else we forgot to mention, or anything else we want to get in?
Um, the only thing that I think we didn't talk about yet that might mention is a little bit about the World Tag Shuffle.
Okay.
So the World Tag Shuffle is kind of sort of second annual event. We had the World Tag Tournament to crown the first World Tag Champions in 2018. So this year the event's going to be a little different, but another World Tag event. It's a $1. It's a $2 buy-in, but the $2 gets both of your wrestlers in. So then national wrestlers will team with national wrestlers. International wrestlers will team with international wrestlers. But unlike last year where I set up a tournament and that was your partner the whole time through, this one is gonna, it's gonna be kind of a lethal lottery in a way because your partner will change each round.
Oh, nice.
So your national partner, your international partner will change each round, and it won't repeat for as long as possible. We might get to the, say the final 6 or final 4, and I might have to repeat partners, right?
Right.
But we will avoid partnering up for as long as possible. And so we'll see how many entries we get. Last year for the tournament, we had a really good number of entries. Now we've got even more managers, so I really look forward. Hopefully, we get a good turnout. The winning team, in addition to entry fees, are coming back. So somebody's getting the whole payout. Plus, you're getting all these matches, right? I'm going to be sending in these matches, so you'll get matches, and the winners will get the payout. Each member of the winning team will get to pick a partner to challenge for the World Tag Championship. So you don't have to team with the person you happen to win with. You get to pick a partner to challenge the champion.
Nice. Now, deadline for entries.
Oh, good point. The deadline for entry is January 15th. So, and then the first round will take place on February 5th. I feel like one of my dates might be incorrect. Either
January 15th is 5th.
I think January 15th is correct. I think my date for the pay-per-view is incorrect.
Aha. Okay. I know you had mentioned January 5th earlier, so it stuck in my head.
Yeah. Well, January 5th is what I have listed for the pay-per-view, but since that's a Saturday, I'm going to go ahead and assume that that's not correct.
You must have been looking at a December calendar or another calendar when it was. It happens to me all the time, man. I'm like,
Yeah. So the World Warfare, just to be clear, the World Warfare pay-per-view is January 15th, and the deadline to enter the World Tag Shuffle is also January 15th. So you get to get through the holidays, right? Hopefully you get a little money in January.
Scored.
Yeah. Well, and that was, speaking of such things in the pay-per-view, the way I kind of structure, the pay-per-views, the original date would have been a cycle before that happened to be December 25th. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to run a pay-per-view that week. So the IWA responded back. They said for Christmas and New Year's weeks, they will only be working on Thursday and Friday. So Bronze will post. Okay, so Bronze will be due on Thursday morning, and then it'll post on Thursday, which would be the 27th. So Bronze will be due on December 27th and post on December 27th. So get it in early. Don't wait till 8 a.m. And then Jade will be due on Friday morning, the 28th, and will post on Friday.
Oh, that's nuts. Oh, that's nuts. Oh.
That's going to be crazy, isn't it? And then the following week will be the same for those of you in Iron and Steel. Iron will be due on January 3rd on Thursday. So, again, I humbly recommend don't wait until last minute on January 3rd. Get it in before that. No,
I'm going to send them in the first. I'm going to send them in that Tuesday regardless.
So Iron will be due by the 3rd and post on the 3rd, which is a Thursday. And then Steel is due by Friday the 4th and will post on Friday the 4th.
Oh, wow. That's
That's going to be a wild 2 weeks.
I mean, but come on. I mean, they
are going to be jonesing. We're going to be visiting with our family for Christmas and New Year's, and we're going to be jonesing for our Tuesday results. And be like, I got to wait till Thursday.
You know what? You talk about being Scrooge or the Grinch for Christmas and New Year's. Oh, yeah. Every IWA player out there is going to, be on edge.
Santa didn't bring me bronze results for Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, as if come on. I mean, as much as I want to get results for Christmas, you got to understand that they are, they got to have their family time as well. They're in the IW. So.
Time too. That's right.
Oh man, Scott, we're like I said, like you said, this one's loaded, man. We had a lot to talk about, man. So, is there anything else that we have to scrape off or that we have to mention before we sign off on this one?
No, I think we have covered it, and I am happily exhausted.
and at the same time, like I said, looking forward to what's coming because there's a lot.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
So I can't wait for that first pay-per-view because, like I said, we're still brewing. So, like I said, keep your ears to this show. This is. Around the United Nations League. You've been listening to Commissioner Scott Anderson and myself, IWA Flip. Till next time, you guys have a good one.